Oklahoma is your 2026 Men's College World Series champions. And what a fun Men's College World Series we had. Bunch of amazing games. And what a year for Oklahoma. Starting the year unranked, starting rotation being flipped everywhere, sending guys to the bullpen, just flipping everything around, getting eliminated in the first round of the SEC tournament, and then just flipping a switch in the postseason. Just what a postseason for this team. What a year. Just what a bounce back after really a downturn they took middle of the season. And just congratulations to these guys, and what a year they had. Very, very fun to watch this team. And my goodness, just what a fun postseason we had all around. New things to see, new teams hosting a super regional, three four seeds making it to the super regionals for the first time. Just what a fun postseason we had, Jaden. What a fun one we had.
Yeah, it was. It was quite fun. It was fun to watch, and even seeing. I mean, obviously Oklahoma being the winner is insane. I don't think any of us would have predicted that unless you were an Oklahoma fan. But yeah, they played amazingly. Congrats to them. Obviously, they just got on a hot streak that just never stopped. Once they got on in the postseason, they just rolled, and nobody could stop them. And they played great, and they showed it last night. 13-2 is diabolical against Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, great to them, but also just great postseason in general. Seeing Troy make it to the College World Series was fun, even though I'm a Florida fan. I had to see that. But seeing them play was fun. Seeing them win their first ever College World Series game was awesome. And then obviously, yeah, all the teams that haven't hosted before. Obviously, Kansas was incredible to see. Nebraska hadn't hosted in forever. Was great to see. People that hadn't hosted Supers seeing Troy host the Super was crazy to say the least. Yeah, just overall a really, really fun postseason.
Yeah, man. We had fun watching it. I know we were texting every day about it. I mean, watching it, fun for us, and just great postseason we had. But the point today, we're going to break down the Men's College World Series final between Oklahoma and North Carolina. And, shout out to North Carolina. Scott Force builds another great team. We're not surprised. They came into this postseason, they handle business, even in their own regional. Some thought, even we had questions that they'd be able to make it out. They did that. They handled business in the super regional. They've got faced adversity between USC. USC gave them a nice push, but they battled their way through everything. They made it this far, and unfortunately, the juice ran out. But what a year for this team! Excited to see what they have in the future. I mean, Caden Glauber especially. I mean, reclassified, should be a senior in high school this year, but he makes an appearance in the Men's College World Series. I believe at one point they were 29-0 when he appeared in the game. I believe they finished 29-1 whenever he made an appearance. But just excited to see what he can do after this year, just what this whole team can do, filled with a bunch of talent. And Scott Forbes did a great job with his team, and it's no surprise on what he built. But, you look at Oklahoma and just what they did this whole postseason, and the one consistent thing they did have was hitting. I mean, this lineup was unbelievable, filled with talent. I mean, you have Camden Johnson, Dayton LaChance, Hassan Harris, and I mean, I can go on. Jason Walk, Dayton Taki, just a bunch of guys just getting on base. And of course, I'm getting a bunch of names, but just this whole lineup, what they did. They were consistent at the plate. They got on base. They did their thing. But the big flip of the switch, and we kind of mentioned at the start of the video, was the pitching, right? Like Corder Ager was a Sunday guy to start the year. Okay, he just what he did. He was a Sunday guy. He eventually gets moved to the Friday starter. Okay, at one point, LJ Mercurius was your Saturday guy. He was in your rotation. He moves to the bullpen to be replaced by his freshman brother Xander, to be put into the rotation. And just what this team had to do flipping their rotation, just what they had to do all around, just moving everybody, and just kind of every guy understanding their role on the team. Like, hey, you may not be a starter, but at some point we're going to need you in the bullpen. LJ being a prime example, he stepped up to the task. He was absolutely great this postseason. But what this team was able to do throughout the whole postseason, what a run they had, just playing together and just flipping a switch. The bats were great, and most importantly, the pitching just was huge for this team, and just what a run for Oklahoma.
Yeah. I mean, pitching was obviously way different than the regular season. Um, their hitting was great. Their hitting was insane in the postseason, but their pitching was even crazier because it just wasn't what they were, known to doing in the regular season. They couldn't do that, and then I think they ended up having I think in the postseason they had like a 2 ERA. Maybe that was after the regional. I believe they won it. But I mean, the freshmen. I think they had 6 games in the postseason that they started freshmen, and
Mm-hmm.
I think they won almost all of those. But I think the only one they lost, but they started the second game against UNC. Was,
That was Xander.
yeah. Well,
It was Xander Rodriguez.
that was the only one I think they ended up losing with his freshman. So I mean, like that's just you can't ask for much more. Even the commentators yesterday in the game were like, we probably will never see a team like this go on a run like this with the freshmen. I mean, like usually it's these teams with a bunch of seniors or a bunch of juniors, a bunch of upperclassmen that have done this before that know how to go on a run and get hot, and they continue to do it. But Oklahoma did it with the complete opposite. I mean, they did it with freshmen. They knew how to step up and they knew how to keep it rolling, and they rolled all the way to national championship. Which is also insane to think that most of those guys on that team are returning next year. So it'll be fun to see that next year as well. But I mean, Oklahoma, man, their hitting was incredible. I think at one point they had, I don't know after yesterday, but going into yesterday's game, I believe it was like runners in scoring position. They were batting like 500 in the postseason, which was just absolutely insane. That's to do that is just incredible. And then obviously they get bounced in the second game against UNC, and their bats go cold, and they're like, oh no. People are like, are they going to be able to step up in the third game, or are their bats going to stay cold? And they said no, they can't keep us cold for 2 games. And obviously they put up 13 runs last night, which is just insane, and they looked like the Oklahoma team they needed to be, and that's what they've done all postseason. So you got to give credit to every single person on that team, batting wise, and then you got to give credit to every single one of those pitchers. That group stepped up, and hey, Oklahoma just ended up being the best team this year.
Yeah, for sure. And a big thing you mentioned, I wanted to kind of talk about it. Like, you win game 1, 9-3. You get off to a nice start early in game 2, and then North Carolina punches you in the throat. Like, they're kind of gives you a little, like, punch you back. They win that game, and I kind of had questions, too. I was like, okay, like, does the Oklahoma bat step up? Does this team step up? How do they respond? And just how they have all postseason. They hit well. They got the pitching. I mean, just, again, a very special team. And we talk about how special North Carolina was. I mentioned just the talent they've got and just how special they were. I'm excited to see what the Oklahoma team has set in the future, especially with the freshmen they had this postseason run step up the way they did. Just an incredible group. Skip Johnson, absolutely great job with these guys. And, to me, watching this team just do what they did, but just with authority, with no doubt, just doing the little things to win games. And a big thing, runners in scoring position, absolutely huge. Like, we talked how good their bats were, but big time at bats, runner in scoring position being the prime time for that, batting at 500 at one point. That's all you can. That's big time. That is going above, and that's the things that can win you games, and they did. And just what a group and what a special team, and I'm excited to see the future for Oklahoma, and just what a year for these guys.
Yeah. I mean, just the path that they had to go through. You know, they went to the Georgia Tech regional. They beat Georgia Tech twice to win that regional, and then they go to Supers and they have to play a Kansas team that was hot and just demolish them. And then obviously in Final World Series, man, beat Alabama and then beat Georgia twice. Uh, get here and beat a great UNC team in the final. Like, I mean, they played
Beat
amazing
them
teams.
twice.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean they played amazing teams and the best teams all year. Obviously, they're going to do that if they make it this far, but they just, I mean, it was incredible. Nobody, I don't think anybody would have suspected that that would have happened. But hey, man, they came up with clutch hits at clutch times, and those, I mean, they're the last one standing.
They are, and what a year for them, and can't we see the future for them and just the future for a lot of these teams in Omaha. Very excited for everyone, and can't wait to see what the future holds for this team. But that's going to do it for us today. You got anything you want to add before we get on out of here?
Uh, Next up is college football. What's
We got
the
a,
next college
hey man,
sport?
we got a lot to talk about coming up. We got NHL trades going everywhere. We got MLB trade deadline coming up. We got the NFL off season. I mean, almost what are we like 67 days, 66 days until kickoff? Oh boy, it's coming up too fast on us. And like you said, college football. We've got a lot to cover. That's why you follow us at Across the Board. So you know when we get new episodes out. Like we said, I got a lot of content coming out within the next few weeks. So go follow us at Across the Board at YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Amazon Music, all those good things so you know we post new episodes out. And we hope to see you next time on Across the Board.